Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Lightly spray or line 8 cupcake molds. The silicone ones work best when it comes to coconut flour. Or if you want to make this into a cake instead of individual cupcakes, just line an 8 by 8 inch cake pan with parchment paper and let the paper hang over the sides a little bit so that you can easily remove your cake once it's baked. Then set your pans aside for a second. In a large mixing bowl, combine 75 grams or around 2/3 cup of coconut flour, 15 grams or around 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 100 grams or around a half cup of the granulated sweetener of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever granulated sweetener you want. You can also adjust it more or less depending on how sweet you want your cupcakes. Also, if you're sensitive to coconut flour or if you just want your cupcakes to have a little bit of spice to it, you can add some dry seasonings or dry spices of your choice. I'm just leaving them plain vanilla, so I'm not adding any dry seasonings. Sift or whisk all the dry ingredients all together until everything is fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 3 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they stir in smoothly. Stir the eggs into the dry ingredients until everything is fully combined and all the dry ingredients are moist. Add 1/4 cup of very soft room temperature butter. Make sure this is very soft but not fully melted. It's okay if it's a little bit melted, but you want it mostly to have some texture to it. Make sure it's just soft enough so that you can mix it in smoothly into your ingredients. Stir the butter in until everything is fully combined. Add 105 grams or around 7 tablespoons of room temperature plain yogurt or sour cream. Again, make sure this is room temperature. Room temperature ingredients combine better so you can have a better texture in your cupcakes. Add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. You can adjust this more or less depending on how dominant of a vanilla flavor you want in your cupcakes. Stir everything all together until everything is fully combined and you have a smooth dough. And yes, this will be more of a dough rather than a batter. I know traditional cupcakes are a batter. Coconut flour is a lot more dense, so it is going to be more of a dough. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the dough to the center of the bowl. Then form the dough into a smooth ball. Massage the dough ball in your hands for about 20 to 30 seconds. This is just to make sure that you have the right texture of dough. Your dough should be smooth and lightly moist, should not be sticking to your hands, and pieces should not be crumbling off. If it feels dry or feels like it's not holding its shape and crumbly, then you need to add just a tiny bit of warm water or room temperature milk of your choice. My dough feels good just as it is, so I don't need to add anything extra. Once you're sure you have the right texture, then form your dough back into a ball and place it back into your mixing bowl. Then divide the dough evenly amongst your 8 prepared cupcake molds. Or if you're doing this as a cake, place the dough into your prepared cake pan. If you are doing cupcakes, it's around 3.5 tablespoons of dough in each cupcake mold. Then use your fingers or the back of a measuring spoon and press the dough evenly throughout your cupcake molds, or again, if you're using the cake pan, press it evenly throughout your cake pan. Make sure you get the dough as even as possible and you keep the top nice and smooth. Once the dough is evenly pressed out, then place your pan in your preheated oven. Bake at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes or until golden and a tester comes out clean. If you're doing this in a cake rather than individual cupcakes, then you'll need to cook it for about 30 to 35 minutes or until it's golden and a tester comes out clean. For me, I did cupcakes and 23 minutes was perfect in my oven. As I always tell you guys, everyone's oven is different. So you're looking for them to be golden and a tester to come out clean. Once your cupcakes or cake are done baking, remove them from the oven, They still will be soft, but they will firm up as they cool. So allow them to cool on the pan in their molds for around 30 minutes so that they can finish their cook time and they can firm up. After 30 minutes and the cupcakes or cake have firmed up, then carefully remove your cupcakes and transfer them to a wire rack. If you're making just the single layer cake, then carefully grasp the overhanging parchment paper and lift your cake out and transfer it to a wire rack. Be careful when you're removing your cupcakes or your cake because they still will be warm. Gluten-free baked goods are always fragile when they're warm, so be careful. And as I told you in the beginning, silicone molds are best for these cupcakes because all you have to do is push the bottom of the cupcake mold and the cupcakes pop right out. The paper liners have a tendency to get molded into the cupcake. If all you have are metal cupcake molds, then I would suggest lining them with parchment paper rather than the paper liners, and then just let the parchment paper hang over each one of the cupcake mold cups just a little bit so you can grasp the edges and easily lift out your cupcake. Once you transferred your cupcakes or your single layer cake to your wire rack, allow it to cool completely before frosting or serving it. Once the cupcakes or single layer cake are cooled completely, you can serve them just as they are if you want to. They taste great without anything even on them. Or you can frost them. I'll leave a link in the description to my buttercream frosting and my cream cheese frosting. Or you can do like I'm doing right here. I just drizzled a little bit of melted white chocolate over the top so that way the cupcakes wouldn't be over sweet. So that's up to you how you want to decorate your cupcakes. Either way, once they've cooled, you can eat them immediately. If you do have any leftovers, store them in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 3 days or in the refrigerator for up to 1 week. If you do choose to frost your cupcakes and your frosting is a dairy-based frosting, then you'll need to definitely store your cupcakes or your cake in the refrigerator, not at room temperature at all if you have a dairy-based topping. Eat and enjoy.